A routine bag check, it turned into a scene of chaos at the Srinagar airport. A senior army officer, a 16 kg cabin bag and a refusal to pay. What followed was left four airline staff seriously injured, one with a broken jaw, another with a spinal fracture. The SpiceJet has issued a statement as well. The incident, according to that statement, the incident occurred on the 26th of July at the Srinagar airport. The army officer was to board a flight to Delhi. He was carrying two pieces of cabin luggage weighing 16 kg. For domestic flights, the cabin luggage weighed more than 7 kg, attracted additional charges. The army officer, he was informed about this, and what followed was unimaginable. And that is something that you can see on your screens as well. Chaos and violence on the Srinagar airport. And my colleague Tanushka joins us to get us more on this. Tanushka, take us through what exactly happened and what are the airlines saying? What are the SpiceJet saying now?
Right, Osama, we do understand that this incident happened when this senior army officer had an excess baggage of 16 kilos. Now, the in-hand baggage that we carry inside the cabin is only allowed up to 7 kilos, and this was more than double of what is generally allowed. So when he was asked to pay up for this excess baggage, it is this moment that, he got completely unruly. First, there was verbal abuse, and then he went off to the aero bridge himself, and this is a clear violation of the aviation security protocols. He was escorted back to his gate by the CISF officials, and it is here when they returned to the gate that he got completely unruly and charged open at the four ground staff of the SpiceJet. Now, these four crew members of the SpiceJet have suffered spinal fractures, severe jaw injuries after being attacked with punches and kicks, and also being flung with a cue stand by the senior army officer. One SpiceJet employee collapsed to the floor after being knocked out and was unconscious, and when the other one went out to help this fainted employee, he also received blows and got completely a bloody nose and mouth. And it is when this other employee was helping out the fainted employee that the senior army officer still did not stop and went on kicking the fainted employee as well. We do understand that the injured employees have been, of course, sent out for treatment to the hospital. An FIR has also been lodged with the local police, and the required evidence, that is the CCTV visuals that you're also seeing on your screens right now, have been provided for the investigation. We do understand that SpiceJet has also written to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, as there are severe violations of the DGCA rules here as well, of safety protocol that has also been completely violated by the senior army officer. The army themselves have also put out a word saying that they're also looking into the matter, and probe has also been launched into this incident from their end as well.
All right, Tanushka Datta, thank you very much for getting us all those details. And you can see that on your screens as well. This senior army officer taking law into his own hands, assaulting the staff members at the Srinagar airport. Meanwhile, I also have Mr. JP Singh, an aviation expert, joining us on the broadcast at this moment. Sir, what is the standard operating procedure for the airline staff is firstly what I want to understand. Is there any sort of flexibility for situations like this? Is there any sort of flexibility that is built into the system?
Thank you for having me. The thing is, it's not a question of flexibility, and though, of course, airline staff can always accommodate your request. But, these cases of air rage, actually, I wouldn't term it as air rage primarily because it's happened on the ground. But airlines are supposed to handle these cases with, empathy. And we don't know at the moment, since it's an army officer, how long he's been on duty. Was he in a harder area? Was he in a tough job where he's not had time for relaxation? Was he on leave? Was he coming back on duty? So there are a lot of things, because J&K by itself is a very, very difficult posting for people. And being in the front area, you come under a lot of stress and strain. And he's obviously, I'm not trying to defend him because what he's done is absolutely wrong and it's a threat to air safety because you cannot have a passenger who's rather a potential passenger who's behaving like this before boarding the flight. And the staff are trained to sort of keep such passengers away, if anything. Let them rather than let them get on board and create further problems which may entail safety. Because recently we had a case of a passenger who got agitated or what he had a panic attack.
Yeah.
Now these passengers can get unruly, and there are three levels of threat. First is verbal and harassment or intoxication. This probably forms to the level one, but the way he's caused injury to security staff and everybody else, it's left to be. It's a very unfortunate incident, extremely unfortunate.
It is indeed. And, when an individual who's involved in an incident like this, if he is someone in a position of authority, there has to be some responsibility on that person as well, because you're not just representing yourself, you're representing the entire army. And that is why it becomes very important. What I also want to understand from you, sir, is there any sort of different protocol for people who are army men, who are in different services? Is there any different protocol for them? Is the law different for these people?
No, the law is not different, but in my experience, these people are generally accommodated, if the airline can help it. But nowadays, especially these low-cost airlines where the baggage allowance is only 7 kgs and the guy comes out with 16 kgs, maybe in the past they have been permitted by some people who have let them go, and it all depends on the person's experience also. And sometimes it's also like showing your authority and saying, "No, I'm boarding from Srinagar and this is my area." It's practically under a lot of army there and a lot of CASF and paramilitary forces. So maybe they expect some better treatment, but then what he's behaved is definitely not forgivable. And I think army needs to look at it and take action. But before that, I just like to add, maybe it's to be treated with a bit of compassion because such cases are not normal. I mean, I've operated to Srinagar a lot of times earlier days. And it's fairly peaceful. People are quite happy going away. And a lot of time they're in fact courier flights for army people if they're not going on leave, if they're going on duty. You find Air Force aeroplanes like the AN-32, IL-76. They take these people away on duty and they accommodate them there. But getting into civil aviation aircraft, I don't know what his tenure has been there, how long has he been there, under what conditions, was he there during
we absolutely
operations?
Get your point, sir. Mr. JP Singh, this is a difficult place to be in, and especially for an army officer, etc. But to come out and behave like this at an airport where you are hurting people, you're physically hurting people, you're basically trying to...
No, it's creating nuisance. It's
it's absolutely not called for. JP Singh, thank you very much, sir, for being a part of this.